Hi, this is Monica Muir, Elite QuickBooks Solution Provider and Advanced Certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. And today I want to talk about a product called Cashflow Tool. It's a product that I found about a year or so ago. Really like a lot of features that it offers, and I think that you'll like it too. So I don't have a live version of it that I can share with you, but I do have screenshots. So I wanted to go through and let you see some of what all you can get with this. So when you first off, the cash flow tool does work with both the desktop and the online versions of QuickBooks. And I know QuickBooks Online right now, I think has finally brought out a cash flow projection tool, but I think this is just so much more powerful than what you'll find in QBO. So when you first want to connect the two products, it's a very easy sync. You don't have to do any mapping, so that's really nice. It's been probably one of the easiest products I've ever set up. I just needed to come up with my login and have my QuickBooks file opened, and then it went from there. So I like simple. You probably do too. I also wanted to let you see that when you first come in, you'll have like a main screen, and you'll have like a couple menu options here, but you'll have menu options up here. And in almost all of these screens, you'll see in here, there'll be like a lot of times a little thing they'll say, explain this. So they will talk about what you're seeing in your different screens, and sometimes they'll give you some, I would say, metrics that might be good to use, what's good, what's not good kind of thing in some cases, and but not industry specific. So do keep that in mind. One of the things I like about it is that, a lot of times we can get some of this information out of QuickBooks. Some of it we can maybe take to Excel to get some of it, but I just like that there's so much in one place. And if you're a business owner or you're the CFO, you're busy, it's just nice to be able to get your hands on it really quickly, I think. So there is a free version and a paid version. So as I go through and talk about some of these things, I'll try to highlight, some of the differences there so you can see. So in the paid version, you can actually have your own custom dashboard. So when you first come in, it's the things that are most important for you to see. This is not the full thing. This is just like what they call the executive summary if I'm in here. And then they do have a section on the speed of cash, which is taking a look at more how cash flow tool works behind the scenes and how quickly you're getting cash. Each of these is called a card. So you can view all cards, and you can also, where you see add dashboard here, that's where in the paid version you can actually customize and have more than one dashboard. I will, in the free version, you can certainly have, I was amazed at the amount of cards that they have in the free version. Um, so let me go back in here. So this one is taking a look at your monthly profit, and this is a screenshot of a screenshot, so I apologize, it's not as clear. But what's really nice is that it's showing you the same month. So it's July of this year compared to July of last year. And you can see what the differences are. So this is the number for this year, but you can see what the previous months were and what you were a year ago. So that you don't see so readily in QuickBooks. You probably have to see all the months in between. So I like that it's shorter to take a look at. Cash on hand, so they're looking at how much cash do you really have that you can lay your hands on in order to pay the various expenses you're going to have. And they'll actually show you. So this is taking a look at, they're letting you at least know what cash you have available. They aren't talking yet about how long it will last. But that's one of the nice features about this is that will. So down here, you'll say that you've got enough cash to last 23 days. So they're using the same number that they pulled from over here, and they've come up with an average daily expenses. And I would imagine this is going to fluctuate probably almost every day. But as far as this number that may not fluctuate, you'll have to see how much that fluctuates within your own business. But it is nice to know, so if we don't have any more money coming in, how long can we last? Number one, and then two, you'll have somewhat of an idea of, you know, based on the amount of cash that you have, then what else, is there anything else that you need to put into place or anything that you need to postpone? So just like with the net profit, you can compare your sales, you can compare your year to date as well. So let me go to my next slide here. And so in here, I just have the descriptions of the different metrics that they have. If I had the actual numbers, I mean, like just like on the screen before, we actually have dollar amounts or number of days. You would get that in here. So I do want you to be aware of that, but I wanted you to see some of the variety of metrics or information that you can glean from this all in one screen if you choose to do all cards, and then kind of give you an idea of what they mean. So if you aren't sure when they're talking about cash shortage, how they get there, they talk about this. Same with the average cash gap days. I can't say that once fast, much less three times. So, but this is letting you know the number of days for money to come in after your bills are paid. So, do you always have cash on hand? That's great. And if you have days where there isn't, then what's the gap there. This is talking about how long your cash can last based on the based on your how your expenses are going. If you have inventory, they're giving you an idea how long how your inventory is holding up. Average days to collect from your customers. So again, this is letting you see what it is, and sometimes to see something you can see a number here, but you can also see it in a chart form. Sometimes those charts just kind of pop out at you. QuickBooks does have in the accounts and receivables reports in desktop an average days of pay. So if you've never looked at that, it's definitely an eye opener. You would need to customize that probably. The default, the QuickBooks report is all dates. And I know some of you had your QuickBooks data file for many years. I know I have. So you might want to narrow it down. So I would expect that this is going to work in a shorter period of time. But good to know when you're trying to project, money coming in and money going out, how long on average or how quickly are you getting paid? Or how long do you have to wait for money to come in, right? And then this is your money going out on average, how quickly are you paying your vendors? This is letting you know your working capital. Let me um, scroll in, see if I go in here. There we go. So if I go in here, that's after you paid your current liabilities, you know, um, do you have money left over? And let me explain or make one comment on current liabilities. I'm guessing that those who are watching this video kind of run the gamut as far as the size of organization as well as the amount of accounting knowledge you might have. So for those of you who are accountants, bear with me. For those of you who aren't, maybe you want to know. So what I have seen from my smaller clients is that a lot of you have loans. You might have equipment loans, vehicle loans, maybe the where your office is, there's a mortgage on the office, but you actually have so those are loan payments, and so you're paying every month, and they are set up as long-term liabilities. But they aren't. If you have a 5-year loan on a truck, they aren't going to give you. They're not going to wait 5 years to get their money. So they want their money probably every month. So what uh, large organizations will do, or those who have like accountants on staff, they'll actually figure out this year that you can get a schedule from your bank. If this is what you borrowed, here's the here's the principal and interest that you're paying. So you'll see over time that you're paying more principal and less interest. So what they'll do is they'll actually pull out the principal for the 12 months for this year and move that into current because you're going to have to pay it this year. So if you haven't done that, then when you're looking at these numbers, keep in mind that they're maybe not quite as accurate for you. And I'm not saying that you need to go do this. I mean, if you can, that's great. But I understand too, for smaller organizations, that's not always so easy to do. Might check with your accountant on that. They might be able to pull that together for you pretty quickly. And then here's the average cash that you might need on to close the gap, if you have a gap on here, the second one in here. And then we already saw the year-to-date sales. And let me zoom back out. And then one of the other things that you'll actually see is you can see how your cash is going, right? So the green is your cash in, the orange is your cash out, and then here's your cash balance. So you can see how things are working. They do give you a few metrics up here. So again, it helps you see a trend. I know many of you probably have a seasonal business, so that might be, in the winter months, that might be where you lag. Um, but it's also predicting where you might be kind of based on the history. And in the free version, it will project out for 4 weeks. In the paid version, you can actually go out 6 months. And in the paid version, it will use more, well, in the free version too, it uses artificial intelligence, the AI. And over time, it gets to know your books better so it can make better projections. What are typical bills for you? What are typical invoices and typical range for your cash flow, so to speak. So it will pull that in, but it is nice to be able to see. And so obviously this is a forecast. We don't know if that's going to actually happen or not, but it is helpful to kind of see what's being predicted on here. Um, and and then you can also, this is what they call, I think they call it their heat map, but it's a calendar. And if it's in green, that says that you have money, and you'll actually see and hear that it's got the amount of money that you have on each day. So I mean, some days if no money's coming in, you haven't paid your bills yet, maybe you do it on Fridays or something, or a couple times a month, that you might see this sort of stationary. But that's what they're showing you, is how much you actually have, a positive balance. When it goes into the pink here, then it's not so good. You're running into negative numbers. But again, if you're trying to time when can you pay things, when do you need to hold back, then this is helpful. And they're also letting you know kind of what your starting cash was, what's come in, so you can see how you got the 25.4K for a starting point. And I have mentioned the light version, so that's for just one user, one business. As I mentioned, it'll go out for 4 weeks. And the Cash Guardian, that's their um, trademark product that actually is looking for, are there unusual things going on? Like, after a while, it knows what's normal for you. It's looking for what's not normal in your company, just to kind of give you a heads up. And then, but the dashboards, I've looked at the free version. I was amazed at how much was actually included in the free version in their dashboards, showing the KPIs or key performance indicators. Um, and they do give you they will predict your cash balance in and out, and then you do actually get a weekly email that kind of lets you know, how you're doing. And this is a web-based product, so I think most of us think of having QuickBooks open at the time. But QuickBooks, in order to connect, at some point they need to be open. But you can close your QuickBooks and you can walk away and you can log into your cash flow tool on from your phone or from your another computer somewhere, and you can get the information. So that part is nice. The Where you start to pay, you get a lot more. I would hope, right? So first off, there is no limit to number of users. That's unusual. I usually see, limits go, depending on the number of users, you pay more, right? But they'll actually go out 6 months instead of 4 weeks. And then you can actually have an interactive chart. So we just saw a chart, we were really actually looking at, I think, something from the free version. But you can actually start to get into what if scenarios and see how things look. Um, and you can actually go into forecasting. I know I sat in on a webinar that they did a while back for once the pandemic had really hit, and they were talking about cash burn, and they also went and showed some of the forecasting that they could do. So they could really pick and choose the vendors that you pay regularly, the customers that are regular customers, and kind of get rid of those that aren't. And you can start to get into these what if scenarios and get a better sense of what your cash might be for the next few months there. Um, you can export out to a PDF. There are reports. You can actually export out to Excel, which is really nice in the Pro version. So I think it's been a while since I've looked. I think with the free version, they'll actually let you try the Pro version for free for like a week. So you know, for free, I would definitely suggest taking a look at it for free. It's nothing else. It's one more set of metrics that you can take a look at, and it's quick and easy. I do like that. But I would take a look at, if you're trying this, take a look at what the Pro one is and see if that would be something useful for your company. Yes, maybe no. That's okay. But just be able to take a look at it and see what the differences are. And of course, you can always talk with someone there. If you are interested, I just wanted you to know that if you do go into the paid version, I can get you a 10% discount on your first year. You just need to use Monica 10 as the invitation code when you go in order to get that discount. So I would love to hear, if any of you try it, and if so, what you think about it. I know a lot of the accountants and bookkeepers, I had heard about it, but I think before I actually got a chance to talk with them. So I was hearing from a lot of my peers that this was a product that they really liked. A lot of them are using it with their customers. I don't do bookkeeping or accounting, so I don't need to do it for any of my clients, but I do think it's a very useful tool. So anyhow, uh, hope this is helpful and would love to hear back from you. Bye for now.